Hi, how's everyone doing? Well, thank you for joining us on a Saturday evening. How's your Saturday been so far? Let us know. So, today we have a very special guest. We're super excited to host our very own Unived athlete, Kuljit Singh. Just a little bit about him. He is a 42-year-old self motivated recreational athlete. He works a full time job as an engineer. He's been working for the past 20 years and follows his part time passion as a marathoner. Kuljit started running about 6 years ago to pursue his fitness goals, like most of us, but now is chasing and crushing his own PRs for the past 2 years. We are 6 months into this year, and Kuljit has already ran 4 races, in which two of which he timed his personal bests. He ran the full marathon in New Delhi in a 3:16 and clocked a 40 minutes 35 seconds on a rainy course in TCS 10K in Bangalore. This June, he also ran his very first trail run, the Vagamon Ultrail. So, I welcome Kuljit uh, to our live. Hi, Kuljit. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
hi, Ashwini. I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday
Yeah,
evening.
thank you. Yeah. I mean,
So,
if there is a little
just for the
break in,
audience, there is, yeah,
yeah, just to make it clear, there's no power here from last 3, 4 hours, so there might be little, glitches. So please bear with us.
yeah. I think your inspirational story will make up for the glitches in between for us. So, what's the weather like in Bangalore?
The weather has been very good actually. It's been raining from past few weeks now. So it was a bit humid about 1.5 months back, but it's pretty good running weather now. You can get out and get a run anytime, even during the day, in the afternoon or evening. So the weather is great.
Yeah, I mean, for a runner, that's all you need. As long as
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can run, the weather's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Yes.
So, let's dive in and begin with your the very first trail race that you ran, the Vagamon Ultrail. While we
Yeah,
spoke earlier, you mentioned that it was one of the toughest courses that you ran. So,
yeah, yeah.
what was it like? What was your experience?
See, basically, I was just going into this race, to be honest, with not much of preparation because I wasn't sure what was how was the trail at all. I was just thinking that it's going to be a trail. I knew the inclines and declines. I'd seen the elevation profile. I'd gone through it multiple times, but I was just thinking that this would be probably tough, but not to the extent what it was actually. So I have been, putting in a lot of running in the past 1 year. So maybe that was one thing which actually helped me to finish this. Otherwise, probably I would have struggled. I in fact struggled a bit, but yes, I would have struggled to even finish. So that it was, it's not a normal trail which what I have been running before. I do a lot of other trail running also. Uh, this was a totally different kind of a technical trail, I would say, and you need a different kind of environment to train for this if you need to really do well here. And for me, basically, I am a runner who usually I don't spend much time on feet. So my runs have been, the last time what I ran, the longest I ran was 50K, So I was able to finish it in about 4 hours 35 minutes. So that was the maximum I have actually been on my feet. Otherwise, I mean, this was a race where you have to spend more time. You can't finish this 60K in 5 hours or 6 hours. So ideally, I think that was one thing which was lacking. So which I've probably learned, because you need to spend more time on feet, and you also need to be, ready for the challenges, like for this kind of a technical trail. So, but it all, it was so beautiful. I didn't feel throughout the course. Plus, with the great company, and the weather also was not so bad. It was raining, and it was quite okay throughout the day, and the support was really good. The crew was good, so uh, I was able to finish.
That's actually good. It was your first ultra distance on a trail, so
Yes.
finishing the race is a big
Yeah,
achievement.
yeah,
Now, so now that you've
I actually went there to just
yeah,
experience the first time so that I can, try to do better next time. So I would probably know what I should be prepared for, what all you need to, work on. So the whole idea was that I was not looking at any sort of time. I just wanted to go there, experience, and then see how this would be so that I can, work on whatever went wrong here and do well going forward. So that was the whole idea.
so now that you've experienced the trail, if given a chance to go on it again, what would you do differently in terms of training, nutrition, or your pace strategy?
As I told you, this totally requires a different kind of terrain to actually train on. So probably I'll have to look for such places and probably train there. And I would also want to spend more time on feet. That is one thing which I feel that this would definitely work if I'm going into these kind of races. And nutrition wise, I think it was probably we were bang on. I did not have any issues in terms of nutrition. Uh, the the hydration centers were beautifully placed, and we were also carrying our hydration bags, and we were carrying some food. So nutrition part, it was taken care. So I feel there was no lag on that part. So the only part, I would probably try to improve on my training. I would try to, do more of this kind of similar kind of terrains, and spend more time on feet so that I can finish stronger.
Yeah, which is probably hard to find in Bangalore. The
Yeah, maybe you'll have to travel, explore, and uh, so that is a challenge. But yes, if you have to do well, probably you need to train for it. Otherwise, there's no point in just going and then struggling. So it might go other way around also if you don't train well. So it's always better to be prepared and then register for a race.
correct. Just to rewind a little bit, you are an engineer by profession. So, how did it
Yeah.
all begin? How did this
Yeah.
running bug bite you, and when did all this happen?
See, basically, as most of them, we all know that health should be a first priority. But somewhere down the line, we everyone ignore it. We just keep it as a least priority, and I was no less. I was also the same. And being I was in a job where I had to travel, being an engineer, but I was into investment banking and other stuff, so I had to actually meet more people, and I had to spend time in office. I used to go pretty late, and I was not eating right food at right times. It was just here and there. Plus, so all these things, caused me a lot of health issues. So it was and I was overweight. I was close to over 90 to 93 kilos that time. So that's when I decided that it's because the more and more older you get, it's very difficult to actually if you're not healthy, so things become tough. So I was not getting younger anyway. So I decided to start walking, because that was first thing. Probably I was not active from beginning. I have never been into any sort of a sport previously. So it was more of my lifestyle was just like sitting in office, going around here and there. So initially I just started with walking, and that's where I started doing 5,000, 6,000 steps a day. So, there's an app when you buy a smartwatch, so that keeps giving you kudos. You have done this many steps, this, that. So I used to try to reach around 10,000 steps every day. So slowly I started going outdoors. I used to see people running in the park. So that inspired me. I thought probably even I should try. I used to see people running for 20 minutes, 30 minutes non-stop. I was thinking, I mean, how do they do it? It's impossible to run for 20, 30 minutes. So then I thought, let me just try, and I just started jogging. It was very hard initially, but I just kept going, and I tried to jog for 100 meters, 200 meters. It was pretty tough in the beginning, but so I made couple of friends there in the park. So they also, they were encouraging. They're saying, yeah, you should probably, start. And they also were giving company to me. So that's how I started. And it's around 2016 or something. We shifted to a new place in Bangalore. So I stay very close to the forest reserve area. It's just about 600 meters from my place. So it's really green this side. So I started going out, and I fell in love with nature. So that's how that was a motivation for me. So I started slowly with 2, 3 kilometers and kept going, and that's how I did my first 10K. And it was basically I mean, I never explored anything on by traveling on my two-wheeler or four-wheeler or with my family. How much I've explored through running. So that's why I fell in love, and I kept going.
That's actually good. Yeah, I think one of the questions that I had was, once you had a fitness goal, you wanted to become fit, you wanted to become thinner, but what kept you going beyond that? Once you realized that you were fit and your goals are achieved now, you still
Yeah.
you still are running, you're on your feet. What keeps you going now?
Uh, s- See, for me, I think running sets me free. And as I told you, for me, biggest motivation is to go out and explore, and it takes off all the stress. And initially, when I got that confidence that I also can do a 10K, so I always thought that there was a room to get better and better, because I was seeing results, and that's what kept me motivated, to always perform better and try new things. That's how I got into trail running as well. Uh, and slowly, I got into ultras as well, because uh, the more time you spend on feet, the more enjoyable journey it's been for me. So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I think we'll get back to your transition into ultra running a little later. I'm curious to know about that. Uh, Beyond that, I was curious to know what does your typical day look like? Because you're working, and how do you manage to squeeze in your training while working?
Basically, I'm a dad. I have two kids, and I stay with my family. So my wife has been a big pillar of support to me. So she has been helping me out, and she's been taking care of my kids pretty well. So I am able to squeeze in some time in the morning. So most of my runs are in the morning itself. So I typically wake up by around 5:15, and I head out for a run after an hour or so, typically by 6:15 and 6:30, and I'm back max by 8 o'clock. That's when my even kids are leaving to school, so I'm here, and I have a quick shower and then breakfast. So then I have to head to office. I leave by around 9:15, 9:30, or maybe little before. So I spend the entire day at office from 9:30 to around 6 o'clock. I'm back at around 7. So I try to do some yoga or some stretching maybe later in the evening, and then settle down with dinner and get we are on bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock typically. So that's how my day looks.
Yeah, I think this routine is a really big inspiration for people like us who are really wanting to do something but have tons of excuses on our plates. So that's
Yeah,
a really good routine, and I think a lot of dedication and commitment goes into this. If you want to do it, you can. That's what the story tells me.
yeah, and it's all I feel getting up and putting on your running shoes is the toughest part. So once you do that, I think you are anyway going to run.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think so.
Uh,
Anybody would put these not run without running shoes on.
yeah. Uh, just going back to the part where you said that age, the age factor. A lot of people have that mental block. No matter what age they are at, they think that they are too old to start something new. So, what do you have to say to that? Because you started running fairly late
Yeah, yeah.
for people who think about starting to run. So, what role did that play? How did you overcome that mental? Did you have that mental block? How did you overcome it?
See, I basically did not have any mental block about the age at all, to be very honest, and I still don't have it. I still feel that I can probably do much better than anyone. I mean, I can probably do better and better than what I was doing previously. So, as people also do in their career, they actually progress. People are getting promoted at 45, 50. So, when they can take up responsibilities at that age, then why not? Running is also similar. So, you can easily start anytime. There's no age barrier here. It's the only thing is you need some dedication and hard work. That's it. So if you have a willingness to do something, I don't think so. There should be any mental barrier for that. On no, nobody can stop you doing it.
Yeah, well said. Uh, I think apart from your runnings, what role has nutrition played in all of this? Being a recreational
Yeah.
athlete, how do you manage to maintain a clean diet beyond your trainings?
Nutrition has been an integral part actually, and it is one of the most important thing which I would say because I learned it a very hard way. I, probably you can go through my blog. So I discovered Unived in around by around 2000 late 2017 or 18, I think. So I was fighting a lot of deficiency that time. At the same time, due to poor nutrition, also I had other side effects which I was going through. So I got to know Unived through. social media, and then I started with the supplementation initially. That's where I was taking D3 and B12. Most of the Indians are deficient with whatever food you eat, or how much ever time you spend outside in the sun, so that you we end up being deficient. And anyway, the nutrition side was very poor at that time, so I was deficient. So that's how I discovered Univit, and it has played a very important role for me to actually fill that deficiency which I was having. So it was about close to an year I was, having more of the supplementation part only from Univit, and then later also you know, your diet also plays a very important role. You need to eat proper macros and proper micros, and your meal should be always balanced. So my family has also played a very important role in this, because uh, my wife also is working and I stay with parents, and it's very difficult to typically cook a different meal altogether only for me. So uh, we all have got adjusted in such a way that we all eat same food, so that you know we don't have to spend additional time in the kitchen cooking something else for me. So slowly we have been working on it, and it's worked out quite well. And uh, so that's how we plan our thing. And as I told you, nutrition is very important. If anybody is into sports, especially into running or any endurance sport, and I feel nutrition plays a very vital role.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you have had an effect on everybody in the house. Uh,
Yeah.
when it comes to nutrition, it's not just you now; it's everybody, and that's a good thing. Uh, yeah, I think apart from that, I wanted to know recently, I think you put up a story on how you wanted to slowly transition into longer distances, ultra distances. So,
Yeah.
what's making you switch into those distances and why do you want to do it?
Uh, it was way back in 2020 I discovered that I could run. Uh, I could really stretch myself and put in good amount of mileage. Before that, I was actually doing shorter distances, and uh, it was in 2020 where I slowly started increasing my mileage. That happened purely because of lockdown, because my job doesn't involve more of work from home. So I was free from work for about 3 4 months. I was not doing much, so it was more of running and then getting back, and the recovery also was well, because I used to get sleep also in between after my runs in the morning and afternoon, which I typically don't get now. So that's where I slowly started increasing my mileage, and I was doing close to 110 kilometers every week. So this went on, and I put in close to about 4,200 kilometers for that year in 2020. So most of my runs were pretty easy. I was not stretching too much. So that's when I discovered, I could run longer distances. I started enjoying running more, and I also believed that I could go beyond than what I was actually doing. And that's when in 2021 I ran my first 50K road race. So I really loved it. Uh, uh, so that's how that gave me a belief that I could definitely do better again. I mean, in longer distances. So, and trails being something which I've always loved to do trail running. In between, I had some other goals where I wanted to achieve in my road races. So I couldn't do much of trail running, but my uh, uh, My I really love running on trails. So probably once I achieve my goals here on what I have for road running, I would slowly transition into trails. So that's the whole idea. So that's how I have transitioned, from road running into longer distances and now into trails.
Yeah. I think one of your goals is to qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is for the audience. Kuljit wants to is missed the qualification time by 6 minutes, right?
yeah.
He Yeah. So I think you will be able to clock a good timing and qualify for the Boston.
Yeah, yes.
Uh,
Thank you. And so that is the whole idea. Maybe for going forward, I would not be doing much of much of races for the next 3 4 months. So my whole focus would be to again work on a good marathon timing, maybe end of the year or beginning of next year. So I haven't still thought about which race I would run, but this time if I run, I would definitely would like to qualify. So otherwise, I would probably not run the race. So that's the plan.
I
Yeah.
think you will, Kuljit. uh, yeah, your story is really inspirational, and I think if I understand you well now, I know that you will definitely qualify for the Boston. Uh, Lastly, for anyone who's watching this, who has a mental block about the age factor or anything like that, what message would you like to give all of us?
See, first thing is basically nobody can force you to do something. Right? So it should come in within. So if you want to be healthy and if you want to, uh, stay fit, just get out and run. There's nothing like nobody can stop you. I mean, even if you're older, I think you can perform much better. If you see right now, if you see the statistics, the more and more people get older, the timings are also getting better. They're doing typically much better than youngsters. If you take out the results from the previous race, I ran TCS 10K. I was just seeing people who have between 45 and 50 have done much better than people, in 35, 40 age group or 40, 45 age group. So that should be the kind of it's you see everywhere. Even in Delhi, people who are above 45 have done very well. So there should not be any mental block. Age shouldn't stop. People are getting much better than better. I have seen personally. So if you want to be healthy, you want to achieve something, just go out and start. There should not be a second thought about it.
Yeah, I think beginning, like you said, just wear your shoes first. Get up and wear your shoes. That's all
Yes.
you need to do to begin your
Yeah.
journey.
Yes.
Um, that's a really inspiring story, Kuljit. Thank you for leaving the audience with that message. We usually conclude all of our lives with a fast five rapid fire question. So the answer to the question has to be one word or one sentence max. So are you ready for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to choose a sport other than running, what would it be?
Cycling.
Okay. Your favorite Unived product?
Elite beat.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen your stories and you really seem to like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
product.
I love that product. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is your first call after an incredible race?
My wife.
Okay. Is it the same if the race is not so good?
Yeah, I mean, anyway, I have to inform her. The only thing is, I have to just call her and inform. Yeah, at least in one piece I've come. I'm not injured or I'm not fallen somewhere. I've at least crossed the finish line. So whatever. So I inform her.
Okay.
Because they're worried,
Uh,
because the kind of running I'm doing and I'm chasing the kind of targets I'm chasing. Sometimes they get worried whether really this guy is going to complete the run or maybe something could go wrong. So that's why I call her first.
yeah. Next is, what is your most memorable athletic moment?
I would say it was Vagamon Ultra. It was really beautiful. Uh, the entire course, the crew, everything.
Okay.
That was it was a memorable
Race
one.
day ritual. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You were saying?
Race day ritual. No, it was a memorable experience.
Yeah. Yeah. The last question is a race day ritual that you never skip.
I tried to match my vest with my shoes, and that's it.
Okay. Is that what all of your PRs are about? Have
No,
you
it's
matched
not
your
exactly.
vest with your shoes?
No, not exactly. At least probably when you are running a race, you should look good. So I try to, if I'm wearing a pink shoe, I try to match something with it. So I try to probably get a different shoe. Shoe has been something which is another thing which I really, it's my passion. So that is my race ritual. I try to probably match the shoe with the vest, or I'll try to match the vest with the shoe.
That's awesome. I think the last thing that the audience can take away from this is always run with a swag on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think yeah, that's all from our side. Thank you, Kuljit, for sharing your incredible story with us. The
yeah,
audience today has definitely a lot to take away from this. Thank you for inspiring us. Keep inspiring us, and keep training hard. You're definitely going to qualify for Boston. Wishing you
yeah, yeah.
good luck for that. And
Thank you.
thank you, audience, for watching this. If you have any suggestions for our further lives, please let us know, and we'll come up with more lives in future. Thank you for staying with us. Have a good weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ashwini, and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.